believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as South Africa and Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. Or should help South Africa. It should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for it.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Justin here, guys. As always, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Happy 4th of July. I hope everybody's having a safe and happy holiday, eating food, drinking beer, all the good stuff that makes this holiday America as fuck. So today, naturally, we're here to talk about the 1996 slasher horror black comedy classic Uncle Sam. It was produced for $2 million and directed by William Lustig and written by Larry Cohen. Two legends in the world of horror. Larry Cohen, of course, famous for all kinds of shit. Q, The Winged Dragon, the It's Alive trilogy. Bill Lustig did Maniac Cop and the classic Maniac. Now, this is a movie that for me was a staple of sleepovers and blockbuster nights in the 90s. It came out in 96 and I was the absolute perfect age for a movie like this. It's actually a pretty well-crafted, well-made little slasher movie with a point of view. The movie has personality. It has a little bit more depth, although the actual story of it is not super complicated. The ideals of the director and writer are definitely coming through loud and clear. Now, back in the day when this movie came out, it was a video store staple. That's when I first came across it, walking across the horror section at Blockbuster. Me and a buddy would rent this movie. We probably rented it, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. You know how back in the day you'd rent the same movies over and over again and watch them for sleepovers, and that's just what you did. And I have to say, after watching it again, I hadn't seen this movie in at least 20 years, maybe more. It's been a long time, showing my age there. I'm an old bastard now. There is definitely a lot that went over my head or that I just didn't pay attention to when I was watching it. When you watch movies at that age, you're just waiting for the boobs, you're waiting for the next kill, you're waiting for the next decapitation or guts to spill across the screen. And this movie is a little light on that. There's a couple really good gore scenes. It's not a super gory movie. It's one of the type of horror movies that'll do a cutaway kill scene and then just show the aftermath. The version that I watched today was the Blue Underground release, which is Blue Underground is actually William Lustig, the director. It's his distribution company. So he took pride in releasing this. It's got a couple commentaries, deleted scenes. It's got a gag reel, a featurette. It's a really, really good release of this film. If you'd like to revisit it, I would highly suggest picking up the Blue Underground edition of this. The movie starts out with our titular character Sam in Kuwait. He's a soldier. His helicopter's been shot down by friendly fire in the movie, just a sort of collateral damage from war. A couple other soldiers come across this helicopter crash and are fairly dismissive and disrespectful to the fact that one of their own has been crashed. Uncle Sam, in his last moments of life, chooses to shoot these two soldiers, and that's how our movie starts. The movie then picks up with our main characters, a little boy who is actually the nephew of Sam, Sam's wife, and Sam's sister. You find out that ultimately Sam, in his living years, when he was alive, was not too good of a dude. He was abusive, he was a piece of shit guy, a really angry dude, and apparently his war buddies also say that he took real pleasure in killing. He loved murdering motherfuckers. That was kind of his deal. And the nephew character, the little boy, idolizes his Uncle Sam. He wants to go into the army, he wants to be a soldier, he wants to fight. He thinks his Uncle Sam is a hero. That's how he's been painted his whole life. He respects the patriotic nature of our country, the flag, the fireworks, paying your taxes, all that good stuff. And ultimately, those things lead to the demise of all of the victims in the movie. Uncle Sam comes back as a zombie to kill anybody who doesn't respect America, that doesn't respect the American way, that doesn't respect patriotism, that isn't a true patriot. It's truly an original premise that you oftentimes don't see scene. Each time you see a character talking about how they skimped out on their taxes, or back in the day they went to another country to avoid the draft. Every person who smokes a joint during 4th of July instead of paying tribute to the flag, or sings the national anthem in a disrespectful way, you know that Uncle Sam is going to decapitate them. He's going to run them through with the flag. He's going to set them on fire with fireworks. If you ain't patriotic, you gonna die in this movie. It is a really, really fun slasher, but what I thought was interesting about it is all the time that they spend in the beginning of the movie sort of developing the characters, showing you all the different perspectives that people may have towards war, towards patriotism, towards the army. You have a teacher of his as the little, I need to call him a name instead of just saying the little nephew kid. Little Jody is the nephew's name. I could call him the little nephew kid. Now I completely forgot where I was after I looked up his goddamn name. There's a scene where Jody, the nephew kid, is in school and he's showing off his uncle's war medals and stuff like that, and the teacher goes on to this big speech about how he avoided the war and how we didn't know what we were fighting for, and the kid gets pissed off because he looks up to his uncle so much. There's another scene where his mom's boyfriend is talking about how he cleverly avoided paying taxes by handing the IRS and the federal government just thousands of stacks of paper for them to wade through to find these codes and stuff, and ultimately ended up skipping out on some taxes. Another one of his war buddies, who was actually played by Isaac Hayes in this hilariously bad performance. He's such a terrible actor, but it works in a movie like this. He goes on this big speech to tell Jody how he shouldn't want to be like him. You shouldn't want to fight for things that you don't believe in, or that you don't know what people are fighting for. The government is lying to you and they're just sending you out there to die, and he's trying to stop this kid from being a soldier. They really, for better or for worse, they try to give the story and the characters a little bit of depth. But ultimately we're here for the kills, and there is some good kills. There's a nice kill where a guy gets decapitated and then put in a barbecue grill, which is pretty funny. There's a good scene where a guy gets a rope tied around his neck and he gets run up the flagpole, and the makeup effects on Uncle Sam himself are actually fantastic. They look really, really good. And he also has this really creepy whisper voice, kind of a disembodied voice for most of the movie. You'll just see his hand or the back of his head and you can just hear his voice as he's talking. It's actually really, really effective. And when they finally show him at the end, because the majority of the movie he's wearing a mask that he stole from this Uncle Sam impersonator, so the majority of the movie he's wearing this Uncle Sam outfit and this Uncle Sam mask, and when they eventually show his face, the makeup looks really, really good. He looks really wet and slimy and sort of swampy, and it's a really effective zombie makeup. The movie is a lot of fun. I highly suggest watching this movie if you're looking for something to watch tonight, you're a horror fan, or you just want something silly and fun to watch. Uncle Sam is a great movie to reach for. Like I said, I watched it on the Blu-ray, but I'm sure it's streaming somewhere if you wanted to check it out. It might even be on YouTube. But give Blue Underground and Bill Lustig some support and pick up the Blu-ray or rent it on demand legit. I always suggest doing that if you can avoid pirating or watching for free on YouTube. Support the filmmakers, support physical media, and pick it up on Blu-ray. Guys, I hope you're having a fantastic 4th of July. I'm getting ready to go eat a bunch of good food, as if I need to, and shoot off a bunch of fireworks, hang out with the family. I hope you guys have a safe holiday. Thank you so much for watching. I think we're done here, guys. Stay weird, always be yourself, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
I love movies. Gosh, I love movies. I love watching them, and I love making them.